Well, I got got the air compressor pumped up, and I went and got a different blowgun, and that worked a lot better and get all that dust other than I got a cloud floating around in here. But one of the main things I got to take off and got to be very careful with is this battery cable. Because we don't want this to hit anything. And I think all that stays there, we're in good shape. And I don't think any two of these connectors are the same. So I'm just gonna try and pull them out one at a time. Because I got different colors, different shapes. Sit in the doorway so I can see, because something like this connector only has 2 wires in it. Okay, and there's that. Let me see who's on the phone. Got the fuse panel out. I mean, it's kind of interesting because we got things that are all like color coded. We got white, 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 and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blues, 6 blues, and 3 pinks. So. Okay, then along with blowing that all off good with air, I'm going to go to these connectors and just, and I'm sure it does have something to do with this fuse box. I'm going to probably I think I'll get set up on my board on the back of my little utility trailer, and I may go to the house and get a magnifying glass so I can see in here better. But just a quick look, I don't see any. Well, there may be some corrosion in this pink terminal right there, that pink one there. Yeah, I'm not sure there's any way to plug these in wrong. Because, like, even on it's one I'm trying to figure out, make sure it went in the right spot. If you look at this plug and this plug, they look very similar, but where the difference comes in is down here at the bottom. So, when the plug goes in, those little ears, this one is narrow here, wide here, and this one's the opposite, wide here, narrow here. So yeah, the one I'm thinking about went in there. And yeah, I guess I should have took a picture first, because here it is. There's the one that goes in that other one. So yeah, but I'll check and see if I can figure out what does what. But we'll go to my little bench on the back of the trailer and do some looking. But what I want to do is peel the back off of this. And it looks like I've just got tabs around the edges. I'm going to see if I can pop them free very carefully as we do that. Because I really like to be able to, when I get done, to snap it all back together. Okay. Oh wow. We have relays inside. Well, this is very intriguing. Like that circuit board is attached to the plastic. And this is where I may go get a magnifying glass because not necessarily this vehicle, but other cars, when they solder things that are coming through the circuit board, you can look really close sometimes and see what we call a cold solder joint. And what that is you'll actually where the solder is coming up from the board up on the pin, you'll see a fine crack around that. So, and this has a lot of solder joints. And see, like when I look here, I'm gonna bet that, you know, these where I don't see solder aren't attached to the board. I don't see solder here, so those probably aren't attached. When I pulled up over here, not attached. So I bet you when I need to pull all the fuses out. I'm going to take my camera on my phone and I'm going to take a picture of this fuse box. Oh wow, that's not our bad relay, but it has it's broke. I'm going to take a picture of this so I know exactly where every fuse goes. I'm going to pull them all out one at a time and actually look at the fuse. I'm going to look for corrosion or signs of it being bad, even though most of these, like over here and across, would have nothing to do with my problem because they're related to other items. But I do have a book that for an 02. So I'm actually going to look and see which fuses pertain to my relay, because I got one over here and one of these big ones, and then there's I think one or two small ones that might affect it. So after I get all that done, I'll come back. Okay, well, you saw me taking this thing apart, and I took it all apart. I had the circuit board out, and you know, when we saw the printed circuit board, it's actually on both sides. They're soldered together. I did some pin testing, and the best I can figure is, you know, because we have the 3 relays, or 2 or 3 that was back here. I found more relays on the front side. I actually think there's 2 lined up here and 3 back here. And apparently, when you turn the key on and it powers up the injector driver module relay, you have a small relay that powers up the big relay, and I think it does it for injector driver, fuel pump, blower fan, and start relay. And that's why when this would be in there and I'd whack it with my hand, I'd jar that relay in there and it'd take off working. So what I did was I went down to my local salvage yard, because I did some internet research and figured out that 2002 to 2007 Ford Super Duty trucks, F250, 350, 450, and 550, it don't matter if it's a gas or a diesel, all use the same fuse box. Well, I went down and found one that had almost like, well, at an identical part number, other than it had a PM in front of the 2C7T. So I went and got that. Come back home, I took all my fuses that was in this one, transferred them over to that one, and let's go put that one in. Okay, Now, good thing about it, a lot of these plugs will only fit in one spot. So, flip it around like this, because our stud here goes on this end. And let's see, it's there. That one there. That one that's got the little slider thing on it goes there. And make sure I got that in all the way. And luckily, the way this harness is laid out, all you got to do is go across the panel and plug things in. And make sure you get them, seated in there firmly. Those go up top. That is there. That'll be there. That one goes there. Okay. It looks like I'm missing one, but I guess that's something else I should have took a picture of, but I don't have a plug left over to plug in. So put that up on there. Put the nut. Yeah, that's everything. And of course that goes up there, and then we got these. What are you doing there, little one? I think the cat bumped my camera, so. Okay. And I don't know if the cover for this thing's around, but let's see if we turn the key on what we get. Hey, man, you ain't gonna like this. We got the cat standing here. Okay. So which one's the start fuse? Or start relay? I wonder. Yeah, let me look up. I gotta go get my book. I gotta make sure I didn't miss a harness. But yeah, there's nothing else up there loose to plug in. Well, I'm back with my F350 that I went down to the salvage yard and got another fuse box. And I come home and because my original problem was, this is my injector driver module relay was bad. So what I did was, I got a fuse box, swapped everything over. I got back here and I had a no crank. And I'm testing, and I'm not ever getting a signal to the start relay, which I didn't even stick it back in the hole. It's right here. It goes in there like so. And this one had that, plug that back in. Has a hole in the case. I got another one. I thought, well, shit, did I get a bad relay? But I had my power in, and I had I didn't have no power ever to activate the relay. So I did the cheater thing. I thought, well, which I don't think I brought here. I took a jumper wire and turned the key on, turned it to crank, and jumped across this relay. I still had nothing. So I was standing here scratching my head, which, you know, this is a 22-year-old vehicle. And I just happened to look right over here and notice the green wire coming off the ignition switch had been attached to a black wire, and the green wire right here isn't attached to nothing. And you know what that wire is? It goes to the start relay. That's supposed to go into the fuse box, activate the relays in the box, and then send the power out to the starter. So that black wire, I followed it down here, and I found this butt connector disconnected. So I finally found the other end of the wire stuck up way up under the dash there. And I went out underneath the hood and got some slack, brought it back under here, got it hooked up, put a butt connector in it, and there we go, key on. Everything sounds like it should. No clicking here. Glow plug light out, and away we go. Because, of course, I did all kinds of research, and it turns out, I did all kinds of research, and it turns out that the most common thing, I think, is this relay number 2 is the fuel pump relay. Most common thing that goes bad. But when you have those relays that are hidden inside of here, you got a relay that's activating a relay. Same way with the starter. There's a separate relay inside of here that activates that relay. I think I can't remember, but I think blower fan, fuel pump, injector driver, starter, and then probably one more of these, which one of these is like an auxiliary something, because I've got to put the relay back in here. I think I carried it out and was looking at it, but I'll get this relay put back in. I think I'll go. It really don't even matter if this one's here because it don't do anything. But I'm just going to leave that bad one in, stuff that back in, and call it good. Okay, well, I got the number 5 relay back in. Yeah, I'll say I think we're good to go now, other than finish reassembly of the rest of the truck. I mean, that's just stuff like this with this wire here. Just goes to show where, you know, when you're chasing this stuff down, you say, well, why do people have trouble, figuring these things out? Well, you figure back whenever they had trouble with this probably starting. Sometimes you may ask, well, why I have so much trouble finding and fixing these things? And you almost have to be a CSI guy or crime scene investigator, because, if I had not have went back to the wanting to recheck, because I was going to send that fuse box out and have it rebuilt, just when I didn't have all my signals where I thought I should, I thought, well, I need to do some more investigating. And if it wasn't for pulling that fuse box back out and looking at it and noticing that green wire had been cut and going, I think that's the start wire. And actually going back to a color-coded wiring diagram, which is, if you're familiar with a company called All Data, they have a service called All Data Do It Yourself, because I don't do enough to need a monthly subscription, so I'm a member of the DIY side of it, so that if I need something specific, I just pay a $20 fee and get what I need. So I went back to the, looked that up and found that green wire, if you follow it, it goes up to the clutch relay if you have a clutch. If there's not a clutch, there's a jumper wire in that connector. So same harness, whether it's a stick or an automatic, and then it comes back to the fuse box into the relay. Well, if you don't have that wire and power and get into the relay, well, nothing can work. So, but that would explain when I was testing some of these other fuses that are related to that system, why I wasn't getting a signal. Because like the relay or the fuse that goes for the clutch, well, that never goes through the clutch, so it never powers that fuse. So I think it's fuse, maybe, man, I want to say 31, but I may not be right. I think it's fuse 31. If it doesn't power up, well, you're not getting a signal through the clutch. So, but I guess the ultimate goal is, I do need to get and put some fuel in this because it's almost empty. And that's why I think it's why it cranks a long time. And of course I've had the truck for 6 or 8 months. I don't remember exactly when he dropped it off because it took a while to decide that we was actually even going to do all this work, because figure we had, all the bodywork and rust repair. We had the starting issue. Let's see, gotta, of course, paint the dump bed. Gotta hang mud flaps on it. And the next video I'm going to do in the near future is the shift tube on the steering column needs replacing. I got the part, I just gotta take the time to pull the column down and we'll swap it out. So, but that's about it on this. That, hey, I appreciate you watching this episode of What's Broke today. That we always like those thumbs up for the likes. Appreciate all those comments, and thank you to all the subscribers that I've got. I look forward to seeing quite a few more. That I broke that 500 subscriber barrier, and I'll say I don't know how far we can go with this, but 500, hopefully maybe someday it'll turn into 5,000 or more. So thanks for watching, and just stay tuned because they'll tell them what else you're going to see on What's Broke today. Thank you.